Hello, I'm Colby Melton, an SDI student enrolled in FTH 212 striker fired pistols. Today's date is the 4th of May. My professor is Dr. Purdue, and this is my Module 2 assignment. In front of me, I have my PSA dagger built. The firearm's already been cleared, but we'll go ahead and clear it again. As you can see, both magazines are empty. There's no rounds in the magazine, and the barrel and chamber are empty. There's no live ammunition in the workspace. We do have these 3 dummy rounds right here. Part 1 of the assignment, safety process for the build. The safety process used to prepare for assembly included wearing eye protection for any work performed with a hammer and punches and when working with springs. It also included thinking through the angles of springs during assembly as to not produce a situation where a part could be launched into the face, head, or eyes. Next, it was also important to think every step through and identify possible safety issues. Safety is a mindset to avoid losing components, assemblies, parts were kept in a Ziploc bag or in a magnetic tray when not in use, and rags or a backstop were used during the assembly of small parts during the compression of springs. Evaluating the tools that were used. The primary tools that I used for building were my hands, an armorer's hammer, punches, bench block, magnetic tray, and vices. For the most part, for most parts, the pistol went together pretty easily. I initially had issues inserting the rear sight, trying to use a vise, ball peen hammer, and aluminum punch. I eventually gave up on this and just held off and got a sight pusher from work, a SIG P320 sight pusher, and brought it home for the night and put the sights on, and they went on pretty easily. I did cause some minor cosmetic damage around the dovetail, the edges of the dovetail to the Cerakote, little chips on the edges and stuff, trying to use the aluminum punches. Nothing major, but it did make me stop and think things through and seek for a sight pusher. Number 3, evaluating my readiness to perform work like this in the future. I feel that I do have a good setup for this type of build. My workspace and tools are adequate for this type of work. However, my workspaces are not adequate to double as a video studio. If I could change anything about my build or setup, I would have started with the build with the sight pusher on hand, because I had an issue with the punch, hammer, and vise method. Nevertheless, I have solved this issue and am prepared in the future to not have this issue, hopefully, because I have obtained a sight pusher to ensure I can install those in the future, and hopefully it does the job for me. Number 4, I will demonstrate a functions check, starting out with the empty firearm. Firearm is still empty, and 2 empty magazines. We'll go ahead and let the bolt go, the slide go forward. We'll test the safety, not pushing the safety on the trigger. It will not fire. We're going to go ahead and insert a magazine. The magazine locks. When we charge it, the bolt catch, the follower pushes up on the bolt catch. As we release it, it would charge. It would feed and chamber and lock. That's what just happened. We're going to go ahead and drop the magazine for simplicity. We're going to fire it. This time, once again, without the trigger, it doesn't fire. Without the safety, now we're going to use the safety. It fires. As we pull it back, it would extract and eject and then go to a half cock. And as we release it forward, it would feed, chamber, and then lock again. And then when we let go of the trigger, it would have a reset. There's the reset. And this time we're going to go ahead and test the the striker device. We'll use a pencil. The pencil moved. Holding the trigger back, we'll charge it again. It would extract, eject, half cock, come forward, feed, chamber, lock, trigger reset, and then when we pulled the trigger again, it would half cock and fire. From here, we're going to go ahead, load up 3 dummy rounds, and do it with some dummy rounds. All right, so we got 3 dummy rounds. Action is locked to the rear. It chambered. It fed, chambered, locked. The hood looks like it's all locked in place. We pull the trigger. It fires. It fully cocked and then fired. Charging it, it will extract, eject. Because we're going slow, the ejector is not going to do everything it should do. It half cocks, comes forward, feeds, chambers, locks, trigger reset. This time we'll go ahead and go full speed. We're going to pull the trigger. It would fire, fully cock and fire, extract and eject, half cock, feed, chamber, lock, trigger reset, full cock fire, and just continue to, it locks with the magazine to the rear, and at this time it has passed the functions check, both dry and with dummy ammunition. Part 2, we're going to demonstrate the proper method for measuring the barrel length of a striker fired pistol. As you can see, the pistol is still cleared. We're going to go ahead and close it up. Firearm's still clear. We've locked it in the vise so that we can go ahead and get our barrel measurement. The measurement is measured from the crown to the face of the breech. So the action is closed. We're going to go ahead and stick the rod in here. You see I've marked it previously. We're going to go ahead and rotate it and mark it again. Pull it out. We're going to put it on the tape measure to 1, and it is just slightly under 4 inches. So they probably round this up to a 4-inch barrel. I have it at a 3 11/12. All right, I'm back from the workbench. Got the firearm here. The slide's locked to the rear. The magazine well is still empty, and the chamber and barrel are still empty. To sum up part 2, according the barrel length is 4 inches long, and according to the SDI Module 2 lecture, that is the measurement that can be used to order a new barrel. In part 3, we'll articulate how the twist rate of shorter barrel may differ from that of longer barrel and explain why. In theory, according to a video titled "What Does Barrel Twist Mean and Why Does It Matter?" by Classic Firearms 2022, in several forums that I read, shorter barrels are needed for faster twist rates to stabilize the bullet. However, different projectile weights, shapes, and construction may still perform optimally with barrels of the same length and different twist rates. For example, harder jacketed projectiles such as full metal jackets generally perform better with faster twist rates than solid lead bullets. In the end, manufacturers often overlook the twist rate of the barrel and go with an industry standard developed to meet various different types of weight and shapes of projectiles. This is often overlooked because most times 25 yards is considered the maximum effective range of a pistol, and then for shorter barrel, which are usually used for defense, most engagements happen within 25 feet. Additionally, some manufacturers may opt to go with a lesser aggressive barrel twist or a slower one for a shorter barrel, just so there's less felt recoil. And this concludes the Week 2, Module 2 assignment.